ladies and gentlemen, a former honoree and a member of the RMF Board of Directors, it is a great privilege to introduce not only a former Assistant Secretary, but a member of our family. Please put your hands together for Secretary Richard Usher.
If what I'm going to say is obvious, but if you're feeling down or depressed, just spend a few minutes with John. You'll feel great. And if that doesn't work, listen to Raquel, and that will solve all your problems. Thank you, John. I have a very distinct privilege to introduce the recipient of the 2025 Renee Mawad Foundation Distinguished Public Service Award. Now, I know many of you who were raised by Lebanese mothers are familiar with a certain dynamic. And what is that dynamic? Thanks to your loving Lebanese mother, you were probably told every minute of every day how exceptional you are. Habibi, you're so smart. Habibi, you're so nice, nicer than all the others. Habibi, I don't mind that you drove your bicycle into your father's car and dented the hood, because you rode your bicycle better than anybody else in the neighborhood. That one may be specific to me. What your mother didn't tell you, though, is that there is a world full of other Lebanese who were also told by their mothers how special they were, and that being Lebanese, some of them were probably pretty spectacular. That's exactly how I felt when I recall meeting Paul Dabbar. He's one of the impressive ones. We met while serving in the first Trump administration in a closed meeting to discuss some pretty serious and quite technical issues. And it didn't take me long to realize that this guy knew what he was doing. Probably better than anyone else in the room. And it should be no surprise when you consider his path. His father was a Lebanese-born, Egypt-based shipping executive, and you're seeing him in some of the images behind me. His mother, a foreign service officer for the U.S. With such parents, the idea that the world was a place to be explored, embraced, and engaged was inevitable, and his career bears that out. A graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy and Columbia Business School, Paul served his country as a nuclear submarine officer aboard the USS Pintado, with deployments out of both Pearl Harbor and the North Pole. He then embarked on a career in finance with J.P. Morgan, where he drove that institution's first nuclear industry portfolio. His business career includes having co-founded and run a quantum networking company called Bohr Quantum Technology. An expert in nuclear power, it's gratifying that the first Trump administration selected him to be the Undersecretary of Energy. In that role, he was responsible for the management of the U.S. national labs, as well as being the principal advisor on research and development, including such fundamental technologies as fusion, high-energy particle physics, and advanced computing. He's a wonderful dinner companion if you want to talk about particle physics. Based on this expertise and dedication to public service, the president wisely sought Paul's contribution to his country again, appointing him to be Deputy Secretary of Commerce, where he now serves. I feel it should also be said, he's a heck of a nice guy. As a nation, we're fortunate that he chooses to serve his country. As a foundation that exists to promote the betterment of Lebanon, we're fortunate to call him one of our own. Please join me in congratulating Paul Dabbar as the 2025 recipient of the Renee Mawad Foundation Award for Distinguished Public Service.
Well, I'm humbled and almost embarrassed by that introduction. So thank you very much. So when I think about my Lebanese background and what I've been able to do in government, I think about the ancient Lebanese. I think about Phoenicia and all the towns that many of us, our families came from. Mine came from Sidon, were from that ancient time period. And there's two parts of ancient Lebanon that I think about, which is very much part of my public service. I think about the words discovery and trade. The ancient Phoenicians obviously discovered the Mediterranean, and towns like Carthage and Cadiz and Palermo were originally set out by the various discovery, but people leaving many of the towns that many of us, our families, have come from. And I thought about that discovery and how I thought about my career. And when I was running the national labs, I ran what used to be called the Manhattan Project. So I ran Los Alamos and Oak Ridge, and as was mentioned, all the other ones, Brookhaven. The discovery and about where the world should be, what we need to discover, whether it's fusion or computing or gene editing. We won the Nobel Prize when I was undersecretary. Was very much a part of how I thought about my Lebanese heritage and how I thought about discovery and how we moved the world forward. And then I had the opportunity here recently to become Deputy Secretary of Commerce and to think about the word trade. And I think many of us, and certainly my father, my brother, and myself, have been involved in trade in the private sector, in the oil business, the metal business, cotton business out of Egypt. And it's a great opportunity to serve also with that background that certainly I picked up from my background, from my Lebanese background. So thank you very much, and very much appreciate the award. Thank you.